For a long time, I believed that what was holding me back were the big mistakes, bad decisions, missed opportunities. I blamed circumstances. I blamed bad luck. But the truth is, it wasn't any of that. What was really keeping me stuck were the little things. The tiny, almost invisible habits I repeated every day. Things that looked normal, harmless, but that slowly, quietly, were sabotaging everything I wanted to build. And then it hit me. What destroys your discipline, your focus, and your progress doesn't arrive with noise. It doesn't knock on your door yelling. It creeps in, quietly, through your routines, through the small choices you don't even notice you're making. Today, I want to show you 5 of those habits. Habits that seem innocent, even productive, but that, over time, can completely drain your potential. Let's get into it. 1. Procrastinating. In the name of preparation, this one fooled me for years. I thought I was being responsible, that I was planning, researching, organizing before I started anything. But what I was really doing was avoiding action. I'll start when I'm clearer about it. I need to study a bit more before I begin. Now's not the perfect time. It all sounded smart, but it was fear. Fear of messing up, of starting small, of not being perfect. And the days went by, and I stayed exactly where I was. That's when I learned something that changed everything. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes during action. Yes, planning helps, but movement gives you momentum. You don't figure it all out by thinking. You figure it out by doing. If you're waiting to feel 100% ready, you'll never move. 2. Consuming more than you create. This one is extremely common and dangerously deceptive. We spend hours listening to podcasts, watching videos, reading about productivity, mindset, habits, and it feels like we're learning, like we're doing something valuable. But here's the truth. Knowledge that isn't applied becomes noise. I was obsessed with self-help. I could talk about atomic habits, deep work, flow states, but my life wasn't changing because I wasn't applying. I was just collecting information. Like a trophy shelf in my brain. You can read all the books in the world, but if you're not implementing anything, you're just distracting yourself in a clever way. Now I follow a simple rule. For every hour I spend consuming content, I spend at least 30 minutes creating, applying, or reflecting on it. That's when growth actually happens. 3. Always choosing comfort. This one's sneaky, because we live in a culture that tells us to follow our feelings, to protect our peace, to avoid stress. And sure, rest matters, balance matters. But I confused comfort with peace, and I made feeling good my number 1 priority. So I worked when I felt like it, skipped workouts when I wasn't motivated, avoided uncomfortable conversations, delayed decisions that felt risky, and little by little, I stopped growing. Here's what I've learned. Growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives in effort, in resistance, in doing the hard things. If you're only doing what's easy, you're slowly weakening your mindset, because life will test you. And if you always run from discomfort, you'll never be ready. I had to unlearn the idea that discomfort was a problem, because it's not. Avoiding it is the real problem. And the more discomfort you face, the stronger you become. Point 4. Letting the urgent replace the important. You wake up with a plan, a goal, a to-do list. But suddenly, there's a notification, an email, a quick message, a small task that grabs your attention. And now, you're off track. Again, we've become addicted to reacting, to noise, to urgency, to everything that screams louder than our true priorities. That was me. Every single day. By the end of the day, I was drained, but hadn't done anything meaningful. I was busy, but not productive. Exhausted, but not fulfilled. Now, I ask myself one question throughout the day. Does this move me closer to the life I want to build? If the answer is no, I pause, because not everything that feels urgent is actually important. Learn to say no. Learn to protect your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. 5. Waiting to feel like it. Before you start, this one might sound familiar. You know exactly what you need to do, but you don't feel like doing it. So you wait. For motivation, for inspiration, for the perfect mood. And guess what? You stay stuck. Because that perfect moment never comes. Here's the truth. I had to accept. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after. You don't wait to feel ready. You act. You take the first step. Even if you're tired. Even if you're not in the mood. Because movement creates energy. And energy creates momentum. Now when I don't feel like doing something, I do it anyway. I stop overthinking. I stop negotiating with my brain. I just begin. And almost every time, motivation follows. Final thoughts, these 5 habits. They look harmless. They feel normal, almost invisible, but they are exactly what keep you stuck. They slowly chip away at your confidence, your clarity, your time. And if you're not paying attention, they become your default mode. But now, you're aware. Now, you see them. And that means you can change. You don't need a massive life overhaul. You just need to stop lying to yourself. To stop calling sabotage self-care. To stop disguising fear as preparation. Start small, but start. Because in the end, you either master your habits, or your habits master you. The choice is always yours.